Okay, let's just dive right in with a tough one. What if the thing you burn for, like your passion, what if it's actually a guaranteed path to misery, debt, failure? Is follow your passion just?
Don't it?
Fundamentally dangerous advice we've all somehow bought into.
Well, think about it for a second. If everyone only did what they were truly passionate about, I mean, who do the essential jobs? Imagine air traffic control run by folks whose real passion is, I don't know, competitive cheese rolling.
Right. Or your surgeon is dreaming of being a world-class poet mid-operation. It sounds absurd, but
Yeah.
yeah, who are you trusting your life with then?
Exactly. It highlights a potential disconnect.
You know, I chased a passion project once for years, convinced myself it was my calling. Looking back, honestly, it was probably just a very complex way to dodge facing my fear that I wasn't, actually good enough at anything practical.
Oh, that hits home. It felt noble, didn't it? Like you were sacrificing for art or
Yeah,
whatever it was.
totally noble, but really, just avoidance, pure and simple.
And we've built this like huge cultural shrine to passion, haven't we? But passion, it doesn't magically create skill. It doesn't pay the mortgage when the applause stops or that the applause never even
I
starts.
love the story of the starving artist in the garret. So romantic.
Yeah, but we conveniently forget that actual literal starvation. Not romantic at all. It's just awful.
And just scroll through your social media feed, right? It's just endless. Quit your job, live your truth. But it's all through this perfect filter.
You never see the panic attacks at 3 a.m.
Or the crushing debt.
Yeah.
Or the passion itself just suffocating under the weight of trying to make it work, trying to make it pay.
So here's a thought. That intense feeling, that pull towards your passion, is it genuinely like your soul calling? Or could it maybe be a convenient detour away from the harder, less flashy work of getting really competent at something that could actually, sustain you?
That's uncomfortable. I knew this guy, super sharp, had a great career path laid out. He just walked away, threw himself into, wait for it, artisanal kombucha.
Oh boy. How did that go?
Last I heard, brewing it in his mom's basement. Totally broke. The passion had kind of fizzled out, you could say, which makes you wonder, right? Was it ever really a viable passion or just a hobby that got way out of hand?
It brings up that old Socratic question, doesn't it? What constitutes the good life? Is it just chasing every desire? Or is it about discipline, developing actual skill, virtue even? Are we maybe just mistaking something fun for something profound because it feels good right now?
Yeah, and that saying, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life, sounds great.
Such a cliche.
But the flip side is, if you chase what you love irresponsibly without thinking about, like, sustainability or real-world value, it can turn into the most soul-destroying work imaginable, full of resentment.
Yeah, and this heavy focus on passion driving your career.
Mm.
That's pretty modern, isn't it? For most of history, people did what was necessary. They were blacksmiths, farmers, weavers, because that's what needed doing.
Did their lives lack meaning? I doubt it. Maybe meaning came from, I don't know, being useful, being part of a community. Things totally separate from whether they felt passionate about hammering horseshoes all day.
Right. Meaning is found in lots of places, not just the job title.
So just pause a sec. Think about someone you know. Maybe it's even you. Someone who went all in on a passion, maybe a bit recklessly. What was the real cost? Not just the money, but the relationships, the stress, the opportunities missed. What did that dedication actually cost them or you?
And when you champion that phrase, follow your passion, dig into that a little. How much is genuine belief and how much is maybe a little bit of performance? A way to signal your own authenticity in a world obsessed with it, seeking that external pat on the back.
Oof. Yeah. Okay, imagine two scenarios. Path A. You follow your passion, everyone admires your dedication, but you're broke, maybe estranged from family, kind of miserable. Path B, you do work you're competent at, maybe even find mildly interesting. It pays well. You have stability, you have energy for hobbies, friends, travel, life outside of work. Which one is actually better?
It's not always the one that looks better on Instagram, is it?
Definitely not. And look at the whole influencer world. It's literally built on people broadcasting their passions. But are they truly liberated artists? Or are they kind of stuck, trapped in this endless cycle of performing passion for likes and shares, like a modern Sisyphus pushing a digital rock?
That's a bleak image, but maybe accurate for some.
So let's get really honest with ourselves and with you listening. That passion you have, is it truly unique? Does it offer real value? Is there a market for it?
And are you ready for the grind? The years of effort, the constant rejection, the very high probability of failure. Is your passion strong enough, resilient enough to withstand all that, or will it just break?
Because the idea of passion, it's so appealing. It feels so right.
It's intoxicating,
Hmm.
absolutely. But like, any strong force, it can burn you out if you don't manage it, if you don't ground it in reality.
Mm.
I've seen that initial bright spark just fizzle under the pressure.
I had a friend, brilliant writer, truly gifted. She told me once her lifelong passion for writing felt more like a bully. It cost her relationships, financial security, peace of mind, all for this dream that just stayed out of reach.
Oh, that's rough. So the passion became a source of pain, not joy.
Exactly. It felt like a curse, she said. Which leads to an uncomfortable truth, maybe. Sometimes passion just isn't the magic ingredient. You can pour everything into it, your whole heart, but the world. It doesn't automatically owe you success just because you want it badly.
The market is indifferent to your passion levels. It cares about deliverables, about value.
And the whole self-help world has jumped on this, right? The passionpreneur industry, selling courses, selling the dream, but who's really getting rich?
Usually the people selling the dream, not necessarily the people buying it.
So time for some brutal honesty again. Forget the romantic labels. Look at the actual results in your life. Is this passion moving you forward, creating something sustainable? Or is passion maybe just a really nice word for being stuck, an excuse?
Like that painter you mentioned. Incredible talent, but terrified of the business side.
Yeah, exactly. So devoted to the purity of the art, he wouldn't engage with the practicalities. And his amazing work just stayed in his studio, died with him, unseen. Such a waste. Quiet tragedy fueled by, well, by unpragmatic passion.
And does that unwavering focus, when it's clearly not working, verge on selfishness sometimes? Are you, perhaps unintentionally, making your passion someone else's problem, burdening the people who care about you?
It's easy to say follow your passion when you've got a trust fund or a spouse with a good job or some kind of safety net. But is it responsible advice for someone who doesn't have that, who's risking their actual livelihood?
It feels like a privileged viewpoint sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ignoring the very real risks for a lot of people.
And think about history again. All the great inventions, the societal shifts, the art that lasts. Was it all driven by someone's burning individual passion? Or did a lot of it come from necessity, duty, skill applied to a problem?
Maybe the passion came later, or it was collective, or it wasn't the primary driver at all. Those contributions aren't less valuable because they weren't born from a Hollywood-style follow your dream moment.
Okay, here's a slightly cynical take. What if this whole cultural obsession with finding and following your passion, what if it's actually like a really clever capitalist tool
So?
to get us to accept low pay, precarious work, terrible conditions, all because we're supposedly doing what we love? It makes exploitation sound like empowerment.
Wow, that's a dark thought. But you can see how that might work. Makes people more compliant if they think they're fulfilling a destiny rather than just, paying the bills.
So if your main passion is maybe, just maybe, a shield against facing reality, what's left if you put the shield down? Who are you without that defining passion narrative? Is the identity built on shaky ground?
And even hearing all this, maybe you're still thinking, no, passion is the key. It's the most important thing.
And maybe for some it is, but we have to be honest about the potential downsides.
Because passion without talent, that's sad to watch. Passion without pragmatism, that's a trap you build for yourself. The world doesn't reward how much you want it. It rewards what you actually deliver.
So we circle back to the start. That thing you're pursuing. Is it a real calling, a skill that needs developing? Or is it just a really attractive dead end you're clinging to because it feels safer than admitting it's not working?
And look, if this conversation is making you uncomfortable, maybe hitting a nerve,
Mm-hmm.
that's not necessarily bad. Maybe share this. Send it to that friend who's about to quit their stable job to, I don't know, make artisanal cat sweaters full time.
Gently, perhaps.
Gently. But maybe they need this reality check more than they know.
What if? What if clinging so hard to being passionate about one specific thing is just a way to avoid the scary thought that maybe you're just kind of average? And what if average is actually, okay, even great. What if embracing that allows for a much richer, more stable life?
Yeah. Is there more inherent moral value in failing spectacularly while chasing a passion versus quietly succeeding and contributing in a field that's maybe less glamorous but more stable and beneficial to others?
We treat passion like it's this sacred thing, but sometimes it acts more like a dodgy drug or a lottery ticket. Big promises, fleeting highs, potential for addiction, and usually disappointment.
Ouch. Visualize yourself, okay, 10, 20 years from now, still chasing that same passion. Maybe the consequences of piled up debt, strained relationships, missed chances, but you're still saying, but it's my passion. Is that a badge of honor? Or just a sign you didn't know when to pivot?
Try this quick exercise. List 3 things you're passionate about. Okay, now list 3 things you're actually skilled at, things people might pay you for.
Look at the gap between those two lists. If there is one, that gap, that's where the danger lies. That's the potential trap.
Because when your whole identity gets wrapped up in one very specific, maybe niche passion, you can become rigid, inflexible, maybe even unemployable outside that narrow track. Is that dedication? Or have you just painted yourself into a very passionate corner?
Remember that musician friend? Music is my life.
Yeah. Died broke, his guitar in a pawn shop. What did that passion ultimately give him in tangible terms? It's a hard question.
And what's our responsibility? If you see someone clearly heading for a cliff, fueled by passion, is it kinder to cheer them on? Or to maybe gently point out the cliff, even if it's uncomfortable?
We have this myth, don't we, that successful people just woke up one day, followed their passion, and boom, success.
Yeah, the reality is almost always messier. More strategic pivots, more skill building, more luck, more grinding through the unglamorous stuff. We just see the edited highlights.
So maybe passion isn't the engine or the map. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just a compass, pointing in a general direction, but you still need to build the boat, navigate the storms, read the actual map.
Exactly. It's a guide, not the whole journey. Who really benefits when you chase passion blindly, without a plan? Is it you? Or is it the platform selling the dream, the algorithms feeding on your hope?
I used to be one of those passion above all people, totally bought into it, preached it even.
What changed?
Seeing the quiet damage it did to people I cared about who took that advice literally, my words started to feel really empty seeing their struggles.
There's that quote, right? Something like, passion without proficiency is just a long, public, painful way to fail.
Yeah, something like that. It sticks with you because it feels true.
And maybe there's a perfectly good path, a sensible one, maybe even a fulfilling one, that you've ignored simply because it didn't scream passion at you. It was quieter, more stable, maybe worth a second look now.
Have you ever held on to a passion not because it brought genuine joy anymore, but because, well, it was part of your identity, how you defined yourself, even if it was actually making you miserable?
That's a tough one, because letting go feels like losing a part of yourself.
Yeah.
But maybe it's necessary. And there's no rule saying your biggest joy has to be your job. Maybe protecting your passion means not trying to monetize it, keeping it separate as self-care.
And maybe your best role in a field you love isn't being the star. Maybe it's being the brilliant supporter, the amazing teacher, the insightful critic. Are those roles less valuable? I don't think so.
But if that one passion is all you are, if it disappeared tomorrow and there was nothing left, that's not passion. That's maybe more like a hostage situation. Your identity is the hostage.
And shame plays a huge role, right? The shame of admitting this isn't working, that can keep you stuck longer than anything else.
Okay, hypothetical. You get a glimpse of the future. Path A. Follow your passion. It's hard. You struggle financially, but you feel authentic. Path B. More stable, less passionate work, financially secure, more balance. Knowing the outcome, which do you choose, really?
Your passion could be the most beautiful cage you ever built. Strong bars made of belief.
Fast forward 20 years. Look back. Did chasing that one thing lead to a rich life? Or did it just make you an interesting story? A cautionary tale told by others?
Maybe the most passionate way to live isn't hyper-focusing on one thing. Maybe it's passionately pursuing balance, passionately learning new things, finding joy in variety.
I've personally walked away from things I was intensely passionate about, felt like failure at the time, like losing skin. But looking back, every time, it led to something unexpected. Growth, freedom, a stronger foundation.
We get hit over the head with a single passion narrative. It's powerful, but often it's just incomplete. Maybe the real courage, the real path to fulfillment lies in practicality, in adapting, in knowing when a passion is just a passion, not your whole life.
Which brings us back. Calling, skill, or dead end. Maybe the real calling isn't the what, but the wisdom to know the difference. To know when to dig in, when to adjust, and when to just cherish something without letting it wreck your life.
So don't just follow your passion blindly into the dark. Interrogate it. Put it on trial. Test it. And if it doesn't serve your life, truly serve it. Have the damn courage to show at the door. Or find a new passion that fits better.
And if this whole deep dive felt like a personal attack, well, maybe lean into that discomfort. Sometimes the truths that sting the most are the ones that can set you free. Rewind it if you need to.
Yeah, and if this sparks something, share it. Send it to that friend who's maybe romanticizing a risky move right now. It might be the awkward but vital chat they need to hear.
This has been the deep dive. We're not telling you what to love, but maybe just encouraging you to look at those loves with clearer eyes. Question everything, especially the things you hold dearest.